Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be my June wrap up. I read 3 books in the month of June. Yeah, one of them was a reread. The second was amazing. The third was amazing. It was a really good month. I loved the 3 things I read. Really loved them. So let's just get into it. The first book I read in the month of June was I Darken by Kiersten White, which was a reread because the second book to this trilogy, I believe it's a trilogy, was coming out, and I was like, I want to reread it. I do have a no spoiler review. I'll link it down below just in case, but you want to see it or me go into slightly more depth. But this is just a loose retelling of Vlad the Impaler with Leda and her brother Radu and Mehmed. And the first time I read this, I just loved it. I love the brutality of the book, and I don't mean it's brutal like there's killing every second of the book, but in terms of personality and they're just very fierce people, and they like give no fucks, or if they do, you know, it just comes out really amazing. But I found the second go around reading this that it was just so inspiring. Leda is really amazing. I love her. I adore her. She's one of my favorite female characters ever. I think she's awesome. And of course I gave it another 5 out of 5 stars. It was such a good reread. It's one of my favorite rereads I have ever reread. Yeah, I think that works. The second book I read in the month of June, of course, was Now I Rise by Kiersten White. I also have a partially no spoiler and then spoiler filled review for this book. I'll also link that down below. But I loved the sequel. It was everything I wanted and more. It was a lot more brutal. There was a lot more talk of religion, which I thought was such an interesting topic, the clashing of them. It was just so good. Characters I loved, I kind of hated in this book. Leda, I loved even more than I loved her in the first book. I adore this freaking series so far. It just solidified the fact that this is definitely one of my favorite series. This and Red Rising. I love it so much. So much. I cannot stop gushing about it. But yes, I have both of those reviews linked down below. So if you want to just hear more about it, because I know I talk about this series a lot, you can click that and like see it, you know? The last book I read in the month of June was One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McKennis. This was a really good book. It's about, let me specifically, because I always forget, there are 5 students that go into detention. The brain, the beauty, the criminal, the athlete, and the outcast. And by the end of detention, one of those people is dead. Student is dead, and you're trying to figure out who is lying, because it was only them in the room, and you need to know how this person died. It was really good. I have to say the characters were tropey. I feel like that is an obvious thing. I'm going to do a no spoiler review on this, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but it was so good. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the relationships in here. I loved the mystery. It had me guessing, and I liked that I couldn't figure it out. Even though it's one of those things where I thought of, I dismissed it totally and completely, but it was really good. I really enjoy this. If you are a fan of YA mystery thrillers like I am, I would suggest this. Maybe it's not like, oh my god, the best book in the whole wide world, but it was just so good. I will definitely reread this in the future. I liked the characters a whole lot. But anyway, those are the 3 books I read in the month of June. I'm going to go review One of Us is Lying. It'll be no spoiler, don't worry. But yeah, what did you guys read in the month of June? Comment down below. Are you ahead of your Goodreads goal? Do you even have a Goodreads goal? I am like 10 books behind, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just reading what I want, when I want, as you could tell. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.